Hi guys, and welcome back to today's yoga video. Go ahead and stand centered and grounded and reach those hands high to the ceiling, taking a deep breath in. Exhale as you forward fold, letting those hands come down to wherever is comfortable. It's okay if they don't reach the floor. Roll up, vertebrae by vertebrae, inhaling again, hands to ceiling. And exhaling, full forward fold. Roll up again, inhaling vertebrae by vertebrae, rolling out those shoulders at the top. Clasping the hands behind the back and pulling the elbows towards each other. Taking the feet a little bit wider, lean from side to side. Taking the ear over to the shoulder as you go, opening the whole front chest and neck area. Looking up to the ceiling again, opening that chest before shaking out those hands. And inhaling the left hand to the ceiling. And exhaling to switch sides. Reach the opposite hand down the leg as far as it would go. Or brace it on your hip if you need a little extra support. Rolling out those shoulders again at the top, place both hands on the collarbone and look to the ceiling, stretching the right ear to the right shoulder, and then the left ear to the left shoulder. Using those hands to keep the chest down, stretching the front side of that neck. Gently looking to the ceiling and rotating from side to side. Keeping the right hand where it is, take the left hand behind the back and place it on your hip, pulling the elbow backwards and opening again that whole left side to the ceiling. Take a few breaths here and relax into the stretch before coming back and switching to the other side. Taking the right hand behind the back, pulling the elbow backwards, opening the shoulder, and keeping the left ear over towards the left shoulder. Again, take a couple of breaths before shaking out those hands, taking a big breath, hands to ceiling, and exhale, forward fold. Hands to floor or to knees, and just pedal this out, bending one knee and then the other, sinking into one hip and then the other side. And then step back with the right foot, finding warrior one, hands to ceiling. Sweeping the hands around backwards, straighten out the front leg and reach down towards the front ankle with both hands. Inhaling again, hands to ceiling, circling around. Exhale, straighten the front knee if it's available to you, and bring the hands down to the ankle. Again, inhaling up, circling the hands around. Exhaling down, straightening the front knee as you go. Turning sideways on the mat, coming into a wide leg forward fold. Again, if you can't reach the floor, just place your hands on your knees. And then rotate all the way around backwards, coming again to warrior one, but with the right foot forward. Circling those hands around, straighten the knee as you come down towards the ankle. Bend the knee, reach those hands high, inhale, circle them around, and exhale, straightening the knee, hands to ankle. One more time, inhale, hands to ceiling, circling around, exhaling, straightening out that front knee, hands to ankle. Inhale high to the ceiling, finding warrior one more time. Circling around and exhaling down. Walk the hands back to the center of the mat. Again, if your hands can't reach the floor, that's okay. Place them on your knees and just lean, bending to the right knee and bending to the left knee, alternating sides, and dropping the shoulder down towards the middle as you go. Finding forward fold again, leave the left hand on the floor and reach the right hand to your hip or all the way up to the ceiling. Pressing that left shoulder down towards the mat just a bit, engaging the low back and the adductor stretch. Switching sides, bring the right hand down to the mat and the left hand to the hip, dropping the right shoulder towards the mat just slightly, and opening that left shoulder towards the ceiling. Exhale both hands down to the mat. Step the feet a little bit closer together and drop the hips, coming into your yogi squat. Raise the shoulders up, using the elbows to keep the knees wide and trying to keep those heels on the floor. You can definitely keep your hands to the floor here as well. Coming back up through forward fold, inhaling high to the ceiling. Taking the hands behind the back, clasping them together and rolling the shoulders open as you look towards the ceiling. Feel that chest open and stretch. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Shake out those arms. Relax to forward fold before stepping back to downward dog. Pedal out those feet, shifting the hips side to side, and just letting everything stretch. Coming through plank, lower down to the floor. Place the hands forward and raise the shoulders to Sphinx pose. Relax the toes and ankles. And lift the left foot with a knee bend and then the right. We're going to look up and down as we bring that leg up. So we're looking up as the heel comes to your hip, looking down as it releases, and looking back up as the other side comes heel to hip. Before placing the hands under the shoulders and coming all the way up to high cobra or upward dog, whatever feels good. Release the hips and come around to a seated position. Placing the right hand towards the floor, open the left shoulder to the ceiling, and switching sides. Use your opposite hand to hold your knee in place if your hip wants to pop up off the floor. We're trying to get a great stretch through the low back here, keeping those hips planted and just reaching side to side. A few more times. Keep breathing. Enjoy this stretch, and then come into a few circles. Again, keeping those hips planted and circling around the top. Switching directions. Let that left ear again over to the left shoulder and then the right to the right. Again, just stretching through the sides of the neck. Before looking up to the ceiling, taking the hands all the way around behind you, planting the palms on the floor, and opening that chest to the ceiling. Take a couple of breaths here before releasing that stretch and lying all the way down on your back. Hugging the knees, do a couple of low back circles here. Switching directions. And if it's available to you, grab the bottoms of your feet from the inside and use your elbows to press the knees outward as if a reclined butterfly pose. From here, we're going to come into a version of Happy Baby, stretching one side and then the other, and kind of rocking through just like we did those low back circles. We're going to pull one side first and then the other. Just enjoy the movement with this before settling into full Happy Baby pose, letting those knees drop down towards the floor before releasing, giving those knees a brief hug, and then stretching everything out, pointing the toes, pointing the hands. Deep breath in, release, and then your hands, one can find your heart and one can find your sacrum or solar plexus. Taking a few deep breaths here as we come into a final resting pose. This is a great time to just breathe and take note of how your body feels, open and alive, yet rested at the same time. Take a second to feel gratitude for the movement and the time that you were able to make for yourself. And then just enjoy the quiet, restful energy that you've created. As you're ready, make your way back to seated position. Inhale those hands to the ceiling and exhale through heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today.